Hey, what's going on? Today is Friday, the 19th of April, 2024. And this last week has been a little crazy, but nothing, nothing too out of the ordinary, I suppose. And we are finally getting a pullback here. We are down 3% on the week. And from top to bottom on the futures, on the S&P 500 futures, we are down almost 7%. Top to bottom. Right now we're a little bit above that, so maybe like 6.5% or something. So this is the pullback that everyone has been waiting for. And on SPX, funny enough, it's not quite the same. It's about 6% top to bottom instead of 7. And yeah, it's a little bit closer than that right now. As far as what I've done this week, I've not done too much. I've definitely contemplated doing lots of things. But I think the last video I left off here, I put this hedge on and it worked great, except the duration was really far out, 123 days. And I only ended up making $15 after fees, which obviously isn't much, but it was a low risk trade, so you're going to get low reward. Sure, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I should have done like a 45 day or whatever instead of 123 day, but I've done that in the past, and if you can make money fast, you can also lose money fast. So whatever, man, I'll take it. This was like $100, 100 points in the money, and it still only got me 15 bucks, $20 total. So it's just kind of funny that it was $100 in the money. With so much time left on the contract, it still had most of its value. So otherwise, today there was a few that were 0 DTE, or not 0 DTE. Well, yeah, they were 0 DTE, but they were just coming off after being on for, this is open 106 days. And there's one more in here. There we go. I had to close this one because I don't know what was going to happen if it expired in the money. It'd probably try to assign me a futures contract, which I don't want, and I didn't have enough buying power for. But this hedge that I opened way back, I actually had to close it out a little bit early here. Well, just in the last few minutes of the day. And so I didn't take a full loss on that, but pretty much a full loss. And then I had to open this new hedge, which I'll explain here in a minute why. So let's look at this hedge here. I can't highlight it. Hedge 2, this 5,000 put. This was a long put. So it was great that it came back to it, but since it was the last day, I actually needed it to go down to like 4,900 to make money. So looking here at line 12 is the original hedge 2 5,000 long put. I opened it with 80 DTE, and I eventually closed it at, let's see, $517 was the loss I took on it out of 520. So I just barely eked out, not a max loser. I guess that's it. It just expired. So the problem with this is, it's kind of crazy that I opened that at 5,007 and it only went up from there until the last week, and then it came all the way down to 49.99. Anyways, the problem with that, when I closed it, it took away buying power. I was up here, I had like $1,100 in buying power, and when I closed that out, it took it all away, and I was negative $50 buying power. I got around that by actually opening another hedge, this hedge 4 right here. I basically just bought a naked put as cheaply as I could, essentially, and it freed up like $300. So now I'm positive $226. I've always been wondering this whole time, like it was saying I had 1,000 BP, right? Like 1,100 BP. But every time I pretended I was going to close these hedges, it would take away buying power, I guess, because I'm exposed to more risk, right? I don't have the hedge in place. So, and sure enough, that day finally came and I was right. So it's crazy that taking away that one hedge removed $1,100 of my buying power. So I was negative 50 bucks. I bought this hedge here today for, the trade price was $9.70, which is a real value of $48. And let's see, 62 days is way out here. This one right here, 4 delta. So I had to buy that and see how the buying power effect, if I buy another one, would free up another $262. So yeah, lesson learned there. I mean, it's crazy. I only was using about 50%, not even, I think like 40% of the buying power. You know, I had 1,100 and the total is only like 17. So yeah. Anyways, I had plenty of buying power available in theory, but once that put, the long put came off the table, all of a sudden, boom, it like sucked up a whole bunch of buying power. It's just kind of funny. I had to buy another hedge to make up for it. So, which I guess makes sense, but something they never tell you when you're, when you're messing with your buying power and calculating your buying power. I guess down here is this hedge 4 that I opened just today here in the last, like, I actually opened it like 5 or 10 minutes after regular market close. So that's the advantage of trading futures. It can still be traded after 4 o'clock. A little comment here, I needed BP, it was negative, and that's why I had to open this other hedge. So yeah, just something to keep track of in the future. I don't know how I can keep track of that necessarily. With such a small account, you know, I only have a couple trades on. So I don't really know how to minimize that. I guess I have between these two, I have 1, 2, 3 going right now. You know, this one's not bad. You know, the 2 short puts, there's 63 days left. It's down 63%. It's been open for a little over a week. You know, nothing to do there. I'll just leave it. You know, in theory, I close it out at 200%. You know, this is a free hedge. Actually, no, this one came off. This one came off or will come off. This one still has 28 days. Free hedge. And this one is a free hedge as well. And lo and behold, I'm actually up money on this. This is that triangle hedge I did a long time ago. So if we take a look here at the curve. All right, so this includes the ones that are expiring today, which is 3 legs or 2 different positions. It also includes the hedge I had to buy today. So if I take away that hedge that I just bought to free up buying power, this is what my graph looked like. So with these 0 days coming off, oh, the other one's not showing up because I actually closed it. But anyway, so this is what it looked like before that, right? It's like falling down here. You know, only make $23 coming way down here. But in theory, you know, that could expire really high and get 1,900 bucks. So it forced me to buy that hedge, which now that orange line really jumps, right? Which is great. Because now if it falls way down here, it's like, at least I'll make a couple $100 bucks. That'd be like today, right? Or Monday. So if it gets closer, you know, closer to expiration, the higher this orange line is going to go. And let's see, let's take away the 28-day ones. So then ultimately, this is what I'm left with, a 112 plus one more 1. So I had, previous to this, I could make 102 to the upside. And now I can only make 53.75, assuming I don't sell any more positions against this. Oh yeah, so this whole thing started because the triangle hedge is actually making me money. So I've isolated just the triangle hedge, and this is where it's really kicking in. I mean, if it starts to go down, I mean, I could make a lot of money, which would be crazy. We'll see. I mean, it's so funny that I've been wondering the entire time, how do I lose money with these 112s? Because everybody and their brother that shows these on YouTube basically claims, not that they never lose, but I think the one guy for sure was saying in the last 2 years, which included the 2022 sell-off, that they never lost a 112 trade. And sure enough, The first time I keep trying to do this. Not the first, but like, I've been doing this since the beginning of the year, January. So it's mid-April. Not even 4 full months into this. And man, I'm taking a beating right now. Granted, technically speaking, I haven't like locked in losses, but man, it looks real ugly right now. This free hedge, I'm glad, is making me money because I guess really the only one that's causing me a lot of pain here is this one, which is a newer one. And it's actually been open 3 weeks, but it was opened in a really low IV. I think the IV was like 10 when I opened these 2 short puts, and now it's 69. And I think the IV crush on that is just killing it right now. I guess it's not a crush, it's like the IV expansion. But when you look at the probability of profit, that still has an 80%, 87% chance, right? And as long as this doesn't hit 200%, I won't close it out. And I just need, it says 91 days. So give me another month or 2 months. And as long as the market doesn't continue to sell off fast, this ultimately will get me, if it went all the way to expiration, I'd get $150, right? Well, and then some, because I'm already down 185. So it's like it would totally turn around like $400 almost. So yeah, right now it looks really ugly, but amazingly this one was 3 weeks old, but opened in 10 IVR. And this one is only a week old, but I opened this when it was like 69, 70, something like that. It's actually still, it's positive. It's up $2.60. So we'll call it flat, right? It's like that hasn't lost me any money. And I actually think the price has gone down. Price action has gone against this about 150 points. So that's crazy. I mean, right there just shows you how much the IV can affect the positions, right? I mean, this one, I guess, is much closer to in the money. I mean, yeah, look at how much closer this is to that, right? This was open 3 weeks ago, and the best I could get was 45.50 out of the money, right? Versus this one, it was 500 points farther out of the money simply because the IV went from 10 to 69. Anyways, all that to say, this is the only one that's really given me problems. This one's down 63%, which isn't great, but again, this was open during higher IV. Yeah, it's not taking nearly the beating as this one here. All right, well, you can tell these are just unplanned video recordings because I've kind of lost track of my own thoughts here. But I guess long story short, currently I'm taking a beating, but this is at 87%. This one here is at 97%. This one here is at 93%. So none of these short positions are really being threatened at all, except for this one because of the IV. So short term, I'm taking a beating, but long term, I just need, as long as the market doesn't crash right now, I will gain all of this back and then some. In theory, that's how it works, right? But it's just funny, like, I think this one and this one, I basically sold like at the top. Yeah, I've just been wondering, how do I lose money on this? And sure enough, it's just kicking my butt right now. So it'll be just classic if I have to close some of these for a loss because everybody else and their brother says these work and like you rarely take losses, and then sure enough in the first like 4 months I might have to take a loss. So when these other guys are claiming they go years without taking losses. But anyways, I don't know if I have anything else to say. I guess we can look real quick at the spreadsheet here. I recorded the weekly gain and loss, and this futures account, it's all the way down at 1754 now. I'm negative 255 on the year, which is negative 12.7%. But remember, this is a small account trading naked options, and it's going to have huge P&L swings. I mean, 2 months from now, if all this comes back in my favor, this could go from -12 to +12. So we just gotta, it's literally a wait and see situation. And then the defined risk account, it's getting a beating this week too, because it's just long. It's long defined risk 1122 trades. That's it. So it went from $150 positive on the year, positive 5.3% in the last 3 weeks. Now I'm down to 26.30 instead of 29.47, and now I'm negative 166, and I'm negative 5.8% return on the year with fees. And similar to these, short term, I'm just getting pummeled, but this is a free hedge. Let's see where the short positions, right here, this is like negative 73%. So, I'm not going to close that. That has to get to negative 200%, right? And this one here, it's at negative 64. And then this one here is negative 70. So none of these are really that close to hitting the stop loss, right? So we'll see. In theory, this is all going to work out in the end if I'm patient, and that's all I'm doing right now. So as long as my buying power can stay above zero, I'm just going to ride this out. I won't be opening any more trades. If it keeps going against me, I guess maybe this could go negative again, and then I would either be forced to close something out, or apparently if I buy a naked long put, that'll free up about $300 in buying power. So maybe I'll have to do that if it keeps selling off, but otherwise I'm just here for the ride and gonna hopefully prove that the system works. Otherwise I'll just keep losing money like I have been for the last few years, following all the tasty trade stuff. So all right, I gotta go. It's the weekend. I hope you have a good one, and I will see you later.